My name is Madison Barra, and welcome to my podcast, where it's all about teaching you how to lose weight, keep it off, and actually enjoy the process. I've lost over 70 pounds, and these are the failures and lessons I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy and subscribe. So I would like to talk about your urges, your impulses, and what are they? What do they mean? How do we get control or kind of look outside of ourselves to tackle these things? And I think this is a cool topic because this is basically, in my opinion, what determines whether or not you're successful in life. And not just on a weight loss journey, but literally in life, right? And I think it boils down to, can you delay your gratification? Can you postpone a little bit of pleasure now for a whole lot of pleasure in the future? So I think this is kind of cool because it crosses the bridge between just weight loss and I would say general happiness and success in life. So for the sake of this call, I would like to classify urges as primal desires. So when I say urge, I'm talking about this primal, ancient desire. It's this dumb caveman signal. So when you think of your urges, I want you to think of them as this ugly little dumb gremlin. That's what they are. Little dumb gremlin inside your brain. All right. Just sitting there, picking his teeth, picking his belly button. He's dumb. Doesn't know what he's doing. So that is what your urges are. Your primal desires. So back when we were in caves, that's kind of where these are stemming from. Okay. It's the ancient part of your brain. We'll call it the dumb gremlin. Okay. Now, it's important to note, and I have to say this out loud, even though we know this, but it's important to hear it. You are not your urges. You are not your urges. When you get urges, no matter if they're health related or anything else, that is not you. That is not you. That is that dumb gremlin tapping in your brain. Okay, so the first step in gaining some type of control is separating you from your urges. That is not you. You don't want those. This elevated, evolved human that you are, that is not you talking. That is this dumb gremlin that you've carried in your DNA for, centuries. It's not actually you. It's just your ancient brain, and it was the form that the ancient brain used to protect you in. And we've just carried it with us because we all need to survive. But surviving in this day and age is not the same as surviving back in the day. I think we can agree on that, right? We're not going to walk out to go pick some berries and die by a saber-toothed tiger. That's just not the way that it lives anymore. Yet that dumb gremlin hasn't caught up with the times. So that's what's happening with these urges. Now, what's also important to note about our urges, ladies, is that we actually selectively choose which ones we listen to. So when I hear ladies talking about their urges, they'll say, it's uncontrollable. I can't help myself, right? I have no control. I go, it's all in or all not. It's like all or nothing kind of thing. And that's not true. Why? Because if you just look at all the crazy, weird thoughts we have all day, we have some weird ones. Right? We have intrusive thoughts too. Intrusive tongue twister thoughts. You ever blend a smoothie and then for a quick second, you're like, oh my God, what if I blend my fingers by accident? You ever have those weird intrusive thoughts, right? For me, it's like I walk downstairs and my intrusive thought is, oh my God, what if I slip and knock all my teeth out? And I picture it real quick and it flashes, right? Really weird. We all have those intrusive thoughts and we choose to listen to them and we choose not to. So there is evidence and there's proof in your past that these urges you actually overcome before, and you're actually just choosing which ones you truly want to follow and which ones you don't. Why? Because our dumb gremlin is putting them in us to tell us this is how we keep safe, this is how we survive. And then you're either agreeing or disagreeing and acting accordingly. So, take for example, our sexual urges, right? Are we having sex in an open restaurant? No, I don't think so. I don't know what kind of restaurants you guys are going to, but you know what? Sometimes we get urges, obviously not that extreme, but you get my point. Our sexual urges are under control. We wouldn't act that way. What about our financial urges, right? Is there a really awesome $2,000 purse that you just saw and you'd love to get, but can't afford it? You don't do it, right? That's an urge that you've decided to control. That's an urge that you've decided to look outside of yourself on and say, no, that's not right now. And so we are selectively choosing which urges we'd like to and not like to listen to. And you've been doing that your whole life. So what I would, the question that I would pose to you right now, when it comes to your urges, all of them, health and not health related, are you putting up a good fight? Have you been putting up a good fight? Like a bloody, bruised fight. Tables are broken, chairs are broken, not literally, metaphorically. But have you been putting up a good fight with these urges? With that dumb gremlin in your brain? Have you been? Because the answer is probably no. Because we can always fight harder, right? Have you been fighting for your life? No. Let's be real, right? No, myself included, right? We can always fight that gremlin harder. It's this dumb little tiny gremlin. He's not that strong. We just need to be reminded that they're not that strong. They just feel strong for about 5 minutes. He seems like this huge troll for 5 minutes. It's just a dumb little gremlin. Give it 5 minutes. And so you need to really sit with yourself. Because we are highly evolved, and this dumb little tiny gremlin is the thing that's been throwing us off because it's telling us these little urges. It's just not, have you been putting up that fight? It's just usually not as big of a fight as you think, or as it should be, rather. So because we are highly evolved, it is your duty to distinguish between the urges, them being your primal brain, your ancient brain talking, and then saying, no, I'm a highly evolved being. I can beat this. It's a dumb, stupid, I keep saying that because it sums it up. It's this dumb little ugly gremlin guy that's just he just tapping. And that tap is really loud for 5 minutes. So that's kind of the first thing you need to understand. Because heroes conquer their urges. Heroes. Think of all the awesome fairy tales that you've read, all the great epics in Roman and Greek mythology and all this history. The heroes conquer their urges, whatever they may be. You can also call an urge distraction. Because if I were to ask you right now your purpose in life, you either 100% know it, or you know when you're on the right path to finding it or not. You know when you're almost there, you know when you're going in the opposite direction, right? And when you're going in the opposite direction, it's the urges that are winning. And the urges will always be there, distracting you. But heroes conquer urges. Are you being the main character of your own story lately? Are you going on an adventure worth reading back? Or the past couple weeks, if you were to read your story, is it pretty boring? What monsters have you battled? What crazy feats have you overcome? Mental, physical, career, relationship, anything. What's the story of your life look like the past 2 weeks? Because it's all intertwined with weight loss. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Have you been fighting the urges to yell at your husband and nag him again to put the toilet seat down when he didn't do it and you fell in the middle of the night? Been there, right? Have you been fighting the urges to be that primal cave woman you in all areas? Because if you're struggling to do it in health, try somewhere else and then go back to the health. Because if we took your urges, let's say the past 2 days, 48 hours, all the urges that have popped up, the urge to tell your boss to screw off and leave work early, right? The urge to just walk away and not cook dinner and go get a massage, whatever it is, whatever your urges are, we have them, those intrusive thoughts. Would you want to be known for them? Would you want me to sit down and describe you based on all the urges that you listed? All the urges that you've been battling and fighting for the past 48 hours. If we listed them out and you didn't fight them, then that's who you are. That is who you are. You are what you do. So if we list out those urges, how many of them did you resist? How many of them did you not? And the ones that you did not, are you proud? And if I were to describe you with those urges, Karen is a lazy person who sits on the couch and doesn't work out. Jessica is somebody who skips meal prepping to go get wine with her friends. Would you be proud of the description of your urges, of the ones that you keep giving into? Because if you've been giving into the same ones continuously for a while, that is who you are. You are what you do. That is your identity right now. Now, the good thing about identity is it's always fluid and you can always change it, but only by changing what you do. So I don't think anybody listening to me talk right now wants me to describe them by their pitfalls, by their downfalls, by the ugly, dumb gremlin. Because you're not an ugly, dumb gremlin. But if that's what's been coming out, then that's what the description will be like. And I don't think anybody wants that. So in these urges, ladies, in these heat of the moment, those 5 minutes where it's at the peak of lack of control, all you have to do is, number one, remind yourself it's a dumb little gremlin talking. But number two is just ride the wave. Ride the wave of the urge. Sit with it. Analyze it. Tear it apart. Where's it coming from? Just ride the wave. It doesn't mean act or not act. It doesn't mean make a decision or don't make a decision. It is just your brain telling you to do something to keep you safe and comfortable, keep you happy. Sit with it. Is that primal brain really in my higher self's best interest or my ancient self's best interest, right? If I don't eat that piece of cake, am I going to starve in the winter because all the frost is going to cover the berries? No. You can go to the next weekend and get a piece of cake. So ride the wave of your urges, sit with them for a while, explore them. It's really cool. You just talk to yourself. It doesn't have to be an actual fight or a battle. Just sit with it. Distract yourself, come back to it. There is no need to make a decision on anything or decide how to act at all. Sit with the urge, right? Your pancreas releases insulin. Your intestines absorb nutrients, right? Your stomach digests food. These are what our organs do. And your brain sends you urges and impulses. It's just what it does. But you're not that thing, right? You're not digestion. You're not insulin. You're not nutrient absorption. You're not urges. You're not what your organs do. You are how you respond to the information you're being fed, internally and externally. And so really change your language around these urges, right? Because you can control them. They don't have a mind of their own, and you can help yourself. You're not going to give that dumb, ugly, we'll call it Gollum. You're not going to give Gollum. You're not going to give Gollum the power. What are you doing? You could totally fight Gollum. You are so strong. You are so strong. You've been through so much. Gollum is not going to be the reason that you don't reach your goals. But it's been that reason. So check yourself. Put up a better fight. And just chill. The person who wins the fight is the one who enters the fight with a level head. Right? Normally, you are entering the fight with emotions. There's no level head, right? When you get those urges to eat, urges to snack, urges to stay on the couch, urges to sleep in, we make those decisions in the heat of the moment. Become level-headed, become clear. You're not a cave woman anymore. And you are stronger than Gollum. 100%. So don't let anybody walk in your mind with dirty feet, including yourself. Do not let anybody walk in your mind with dirty feet. And that includes yourself. Now, those urges aren't necessarily dirty. or negative. They just are. It's what you do with them. What have you been choosing to do with them? It is a choice. You don't have to say, what am I going to follow this urge? You say, what am I going to do with this urge? What am I going to do with it? Not how am I going to act? What am I going to do with it? Where am I going to put it? Start there. It's not give in or don't give in. It's not black and white. Just sit in the gray area. What am I going to do with it? And breathe, collect your thoughts, and then make a decision with whatever you want. Even if the decision is still to give in to the urge. You have to at least put up a different kind of fight than what you've been doing. And over time, you will become so strong, it's not even a fight. It's just a flick. You can flick Gollum off your shoulder, really. Sounds silly, but it's true. Because unfortunately, we usually fail and screw up so much and repeat patterns so much that we don't even try anymore. Because we already feel defeated. Because we don't think we can win. I guarantee one way you will always lose, and that is to not put up the fight. And if you do put up a fight, a different fight than what you're used to, not that internal battle of do it, don't do it, I shouldn't, but reward myself. Oh, one bite won't hurt. Oh, but let me celebrate. Oh, I'm never going to get this. It's Christmas. I'm never going to get my grandmother's shortbread again. Or you could ask her for the recipe and then make it next week. Right? Different battle. Put up a different, smarter fight. You've been fighting. Maybe you have been fighting. But put up a smarter fight, a calmer fight, a longer fight, a longer, less intense fight. Doesn't need to be super intense right away. Wait those 5 minutes and then have a longer, less intense fight. And the chances of you winning are way higher. Or at least making yourself proud, which is a win anyway. Making yourself proud in terms of I did something different. I was better this time around than last. And that's kind of all we're hoping for here. Just be better. Be smarter. You want to flick Gollum one day. And I'm sure you've experienced that in some areas, maybe not in your health yet, or maybe sometimes in your health. But there's other things that you can flick away. You get those silly urges for 2 seconds. You flick them away. You brush them right off, right? They're there. And that's only because you practice it there. You can do the same thing with your cravings and things like that. Really, really, and truly. It's just we've been fighting in a way that is just too intense to keep going for very long. That's all. And the person who lasts the longest is the one who wins the fight. So you'll never lose as long as you don't stop trying. As long as you don't stop playing the game. So don't count yourself out before you've even tried a new way of doing things. That would be my message for you today, ladies. So, with that, identify what your Gollum does when it comes to your health and weight loss. And just sit with it and realize, hey, the next time it happens, it's going to happen, right? We can't avoid it. Next time it happens, just sit for a second. Sit for a second. Collect yourself, do some stretches, warm up those punching hands, and then get into this fight. That's it. It's not that hard. It's hard when you say it's hard. It's hard when you label things as hard. Saying it's hard out loud definitely ain't going to help. So start there. All right, ladies? So thank you for joining me. You will never look at Lord of the Rings the same again. If you found this podcast valuable, I hope you leave us a 5-star review. And if you want to learn more about the Fit Queen way of weight loss, visit www.fitqueen.com. Thank you for listening, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another episode.